Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Tuesday the 10th of September 2024. Today's Mill news, some normal news today, no more rants. We have this from londonnewsonline.co.uk, which is the South London Press. Millwall club record signing Mihailo Ivanovic set to see top specialist in London this week. Millwall are set to get a further timeline on playing return date for club record signing Mihailo Ivanovic when he sees a specialist later this week in the capital. The Lions splashed in the region of £3 million on the 19-year-old striker, but head coach Neil Harris revealed after the 3-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday before the international break that Ivanovic was said to be out for a number of weeks with a metatarsal issue. Serbia still called up Ivanovic ahead of the Nations League matches and he was pictured in some of their training sessions. But towards the end of last week, it was confirmed that the Serbian FA had chosen to withdraw Ivanovic from their matches against Spain and Denmark, adding he also had an hamstring injury. Millwall had supplied the Serbian national team with their results after Ivanovic's medical that he completed after a deal was agreed with Vojvodina on deadline day. Harris told the South London Press today, I can see from the outside why it might look like there was a dispute of sorts between the Serbian national team and the football club, but that wasn't the case. I think everyone needs to understand that FIFA rules are that the national team will overrule any football team worldwide, including ourselves and a different nation. All of our job is to supply details, to the Serbian FA on where we think Mihailo's at, and we would have ruled him out of our game against Sheffield Wednesday due to injury. The Serbian FA wanted to see him personally, and Mihailo wanted to go. We wanted Mihailo to go and meet up with the national team because it's a great honour for him. He hasn't been capped to get the call up and to meet the Serbian head coach and the players for the first time. It's a great honour. I would have loved to have been in that position as an England player to be able to do that. And we thought it was really important that he went. A debate over training. They made a judgment call in the first few days and then decided to maybe take a step backwards and let him come back to England and follow the procedure that we've set up. He's going to see a specialist this week here to determine what the next step for him is. And, at the moment, that's unclear until Thursday afternoon to determine what the next steps are going to be. We will see a top specialist in London, and then we will be able to make a formal plan off of that. We will update everybody after Thursday to what the future looks like for Mihailo in the coming weeks and days and months. And we're very hopeful that there's going to be a resolution very quickly, and he's on the pitch in the short term for us. The bigger picture is that he signed a long-term contract with us. He's been called up to the Serbian national team at 19. His pedigree and potential is there for everyone to see. The bright future that we all hope he's got has been well documented in Serbia. It's important to the Serbian FA, and we've got a very good working relationship with the Serbian FA. So there you go. Nothing to worry about. It's all's well that ends well. We hope. Now, moving on to this also from the South London Press. Red Hot Millwall attacker is a fantasy EFL hit, but is he playing the new game? Duncan Watmore is flying high in the new fantasy EFL game, but the Millwall attacker has not been tempted to play it. The Lions attacker scored and assisted in the Lions 3-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday before the international break. Watmore is on 38 points with players of fantasy EFL, hoping he can add to that total at home to Luton Town this weekend. No other player listed as a forward has a higher score than the former Middlesbrough and Sunderland man, and he's level with West Brom's Josh Stephenson. The fantasy EFL game sees people picking 7 players from all EFL matches each week. You can pick a player as many times as you like throughout the season, but you can only select a maximum of 2 players from one club each game week. You can pick 2 clubs who will also score points for your team depending on their result. However, you can only select a club a maximum of 5 times throughout the season. Each week you can select one player to be your captain who will earn double points. Your vice captain will step in if your captain doesn't play. Millwall tweeted on social media platform X that Watmore was the fantasy EFL equivalent of Hurling Ireland after his contribution to the win over the Owls. Asked if he played it, Watmore said, "No, I don't. I did the Fantasy Premier League before, but I've never done the EFL one, and that's not a bad start, I'll take that. I don't know if any of my friends and family are doing it, If they are, they haven't let me know yet." Mill picked up their first win at the Den this season before the international break. It's hugely important, because it's such an amazing place. The fans are brilliant, and we love playing there, said Watmore. It's something we always want to deliver when we're at home, creating those performances and atmospheres. I have to be honest, I thought we were very, very good against Watford as well. And I think on another day we would have come away with 3 points from that game as well. And it was nice that the performance was justified this time by the result and us winning quite handsomely in the end. Indeed. So, there you go. Now, moving on to this from the southernnews.co.uk. 2 from 2 for former Tottenham defender since return, but Millwall boss keen to share the praise. Tanganga is 2 from 2 for clean sheets since he returned to the Millwall side, but Neil Harris was keen to credit the structure of the team after they picked up first points of the campaign against Hull City and Sheffield Wednesday before the international break. The Lions shipped 7 goals in 2 championship games without Tanganga, as many as in the last 9 games of last season when the former Tottenham Hotspur defender was in the side. Tanganga had to serve a 3-match ban for his red card in the last game of the season against Swansea City, but his return has coincided with, or more likely contributed to, Millwall's increased defensive resolve. It was another clean sheet for goalkeeper Lucas Jensen after he got his first against Hull following his move from Lincoln City in the summer. It's hard to pick out individuals, because I thought the whole team was outstanding. As a back line and the goalkeeper, we looked very solid and assured, Neil Harris said. I think one save Lucas has made, it was a very clean and precise save. He did very well, but I think it's credit to the structure of the team and what the players delivered. Jaffet's come in, he's impacted the group for sure, with a couple of clean sheets. But that's the structure, we've cut out the individual errors and we look much better team for it. Harris felt his side didn't get what their performances deserved in the first 2 games. They came back from 2 goals down against Watford and Bristol City, leading 3-2 in the latter before late goals saw them go away empty-handed. But their 3-0 win over the Owls sent them into the international break in a more positive mood ahead of their clash against Luton Town at the Den on Saturday. It gives confidence to everybody, doesn't it? Harris said. It's fine me telling the players how well they played and how good they've done and showing them that we're top of the league for expected goals and near the top for clear-cut chances created, etc. But ultimately, everyone wants points on the board. It was an outstanding performance and it does give the stadium confidence. It gives the fans confidence in the team and it shows the importance of the core group of players that we have. It's the core group of players that played in the first 3 games and played extremely well. And, against Wednesday, they played extremely well and we got the end product out of it. So there you go. Now, moving on to this, another outward bound loan player. So Okoli joins Sutton United on loan. Millwall under-21s defender Okoli has joined Sutton United on loan until 7th of January 2025. The 20-year-old will link up with Steve Morrison's side until the new year and will hope to be involved as the U's take on Southend United at Roots Hall in the Vanarama National League on Saturday afternoon. I think actually he was involved in the squad today against Dagenham and Redbridge, and I've got to say, Steve Morrison is not doing too well down at Sutton this season. This last season he came in and he nearly kept them up, but this season not really having the desired effect. He's built a squad, they've got a load of players, but it's not easy for them. And they lost 3-0 away to Dagenham and Redbridge. And Okoli came on the 67th minute for Aidan Muller. So there you go. He's already playing. That's how desperate they are. That a player that they've signed in on loan has gone straight into the squad. And talking of loans, so obviously Okoli is going to be featured in the Loanwatch. This is the latest Loanwatch from millfc.co.uk. Tom Leahy made his woking debut on Saturday afternoon. The striker on loan from the Lions at the Laithwaite Community Stadium stepped off the bench for the final 17 minutes for the Cards goalless draw away at Braintree Town in the Vanarama National League. Kamal Grant was also in action last weekend as 10-man Bromley picked up a 1-1 draw at Colchester United in Sky Bet League 2. Former Millman Bisart Topolog seeing red for the team, which now includes Ben Thompson alongside Byron Webster. And these are the upcoming fixtures, and here they go again. Obviously, this was put up in the morning before Okoli signed. Here they go again. Obviously, we know Simon Fleming is technically on loan, But we were led to believe, although the club didn't say that, the club hasn't said this. It's come from the South London press, and we assume it to be true. That Zion Fleming is on loan at Burnley with an obligation to buy. But here we have Millwall again featuring him in the latest Loanwatch, as if there is a possibility that he might be coming back. That Burnley deal is not guaranteed. So what's the obligation to buy? If they're still in the Championship, they have an obligation to buy. If they get promoted or relegated, they don't have an obligation to buy. Is that maybe they get if they get relegated? I guess they would say, yeah, we're not. If we get relegated, we ain't signing him. But what are the chances of that happening? Like, unless there's some kind of financial problems and they get points deducted. So again, it does seem kind of weird that they're showing this stuff, but there you go. Now, talking of under 21s, we have this story which is from the BBC News via Yahoo Sports, but again, this is dated Tuesday, September the 10th, so it's from today, but it's almost exactly the same as the story that got put out in July. So it's saying that Brentford are going to sign this defender. It hasn't happened yet, but they're saying it will happen this week. But they said that in July. So what's going on? So yeah, B's to sign Millwall defender Stephenson. So Brentford are set to complete a move for Millwall defender Josh Stephenson this week. The 18-year-old centre-back will sign a 5-year deal and complete a medical as he makes a switch across London. Stephenson is highly regarded within the London youth football system, having had an excellent season at Den last year, captaining Millwall to the FA Youth Cup semi-final. So there you go. So apparently that's happening this week. I guess maybe some kind of agreement has been reached, or the tribunal has been held. I don't know, but there you go. And again, talking of young players, we have 3 young players who are off on international duty, and I'm going to tell you how they've done today because their games were today. And here we go. Scotland under 21s travelling to Malta. Nice, not bad. Especially with the awful weather that we got here today. Daniel Kelly, he was on the bench. For some reason he came, I think for an injury for one of the other players, he came on in the 36th minute there or thereabouts. And he got an assist in the 56th minute. So there you go, but by this time they were already 3-0 up, so they were just kind of in cruise control. If we switch to that, you can see he came on the 36th minute for Bowie, and he played the rest of the game after playing 90 minutes the other day against Spain where they lost 2-1. So there you go. And while we're here, let's have a look at the table. I don't think they're doing too well. Well, that's the wrong group. There you go. Oh, they're in second place, but I believe it's only the top team that goes through, and then one of the second place teams will go up. But when you see Ireland, they've got 17 points, and Scotland have got 16. Probably not going to be them. And Poland have got 18 points as well, so, you know. Now, moving on to Roamin Esse for England Els, which is the under-20s. I don't know why they don't use the under-20 tag. It's so stupid. This is from englandfootball.com. It's the official website for all the England teams. And they won 2-0 against Romania. This was at Stockport County, this game. And Roamin Esse did not start, but Calum Scanlon did start. He's the left back that we got on loan from Liverpool. So he started. That's him there, bottom right. Oh, what's happened to his hand? His hand is all bandaged up. Has he been doing a bit of fisticuffs? What's going on there? And he's wearing white boots, which are the same colour as his socks. Interesting. So, yeah, it's not really a match report, is it? It's like 3 lines. So if you go down to where it says, got the teams. On the top line, we've got number 3, Calum Scanlon, Millwall on loan from Liverpool. And then when you go down to substitutes, the first substitute 17 Roamin Esse Millwall for Tesgale on 60th minutes. So Roamin Esse came on in the 60th minute, and between the 60th and the 76th minute, there were two, technically one was on loan, but two Millwall players in the under 20s, because Luke Chambers came on for Scanlon. He's another Liverpool player. He's on loan at Wigan. Came on for Scanlon in the 76th minute. So Scanlon started and went off, and Roamin Esse came off the bench. So there you go. So not really much of a match for us. I don't know what happened, and the game wasn't broadcasting. Yeah, we may get highlights, we may not. Now, number 3 of the Three Musketeers, Aidomo Emakhu. Frustration for wasteful under-21s as they were held by Latvia. Yes, after doing all of the hard work, going off to Turkey and beating them 1-0 with a late goal in the 85th minute, that was a game that they needed to win. They now go to this game, which is supposed to be much easier, and it's a 2-2 draw, and the Irish goalkeeper made an absolutely howler. He basically patty caked it down into the Latvia players who head it into the goal. Awful thing for a young man to do. So yeah, it was 2-2, and this is where they are after the game. Like I said, they needed to win that to get up, because now they've got a game in hand of Italy, but they're 4 points behind, which is not good. And obviously Italy have one more game to play, and if they win, it's good night Vienna for Ireland, which is a shame, because this was supposed to be the first time that they would have qualified for an international tournament at the under-21 level. It just didn't happen. There are clips online on X. I'm not going to play them. If we go down, so Aidomo Emakhu came off the bench in the 64th minute, and apparently Ireland utterly bossed this game, and it was just like Latvia had 2 shots on target, and they were the only 2 shots that they had and scored them. So with time running out, Ireland tried desperately for the winner their poor performance deserved. Both Hodge and substitute Johnny Kenny had shots from close range blocked as Latvia put bodies on the line, before another substitute, Aidomo Emakhu, took on all comers down the right side but swiped wildly once entering the area. There you go. And again, he came on the 64th minute. And interestingly, I don't know if he was involved, but they scored the second goal to make it 2-2 in the 65th minute, straight after he came on. So there you go. Now we're going to end the video by talking about something that we covered about a month ago, and that is Kiernan Hughes-Mason. We discussed on the Daily Meal that he had been convicted of beating a 2-year-old girl. Beating, not slapping, not don't do that, slap, but you're driving me crazy. If you don't stop making noise, I'm going to punch you in the head. That kind of thing. And interestingly, there were text messages where he said to presumably friends of his that the kid was driving him nuts and he's going to do something. And these were shown in court, and he still pleaded not guilty, even though there's literally text messages saying what he's going to do if this kid doesn't shut up. But hey, he has been jailed for 14 years. 14 years. And interestingly, so this is from the newsshopper.co.uk. There are other outlets around, obviously less, reputable, who are labelling him as a ex-Millwall player. As we discussed previously, he came through the Millwall youth system. He made 2 substitute appearances for Millwall and then was released. He's been around the houses, played for Welling and other teams, #United, etc. And a lot of other media outlets are labelling him as an ex-Millwall player, ex-Millwall star in the headline, when he played in 2 games for us off the bench. So I think we discussed at the time, I think it's like 25 minutes he played for us. And he's played a hell of a lot for other teams, but, you know, what can you do? They know that Millwall name's going to get the headlines, because I imagine they think people are going to click on it because they think it's going to be a white guy. You know, the nasty white Millwall player bashed up a little kid, and then they go, oh, okay. And then they click off. But yeah. A former footballer has been jailed for a violent attack on a 2-year-old girl which left her with life-changing brain injuries. Kiernan Hughes-Mason, 32, injured the child so badly that the victim's mother was told she would either die in the night or be severely disabled for life. On Tuesday, today, he was jailed for 14 years after he was found guilty of causing grievous bodily harm with intent and child cruelty. Although, in this day and age, under this Labour government, under Keir Starmer, 14 years is not going to be 14 years. He'll probably be out in 3 or 4. In the way it's going, it's not good, is it? On New Year's Eve 2020, Hughes-Mason phoned for an ambulance claiming he found the girl conscious but unresponsive. The girl was placed into an induced coma as doctors identified 17 different injuries. She remained in the coma for 14 days. The girl, who is now 7, still has a personality that shines through and creates joy, but now has no independence, being only able to say 3 or 4 words at a time and requiring expensive accommodations due to her physical and mental disabilities. Her mum said, "We will continue our best to ensure that she can live each day to the full as best she can. We love her more than anything else in the world. We are thankful that today some form of justice has been achieved. However, this sentence does not compare to the life sentence our little girl now has. We mourn all the experiences we would have shared with her that were taken from her by a violent coward, and we celebrate every day we still get to share with our beautiful young girl." After the conviction, Detective Sergeant Ellie Nudd of Essex Police's Child Abuse Investigation Team said, "Her family have attended court and have shown nothing but dignity and strength. I cannot commend their conduct throughout this trial highly enough while they live the impact of his actions. I'd also like to thank all the officers across the Child Abuse Investigation Team who were involved in this case. This was a challenging and complex investigation with multiple officers and detectives working tirelessly over the past 4 years to make sure this case was as strong as possible. This conviction is important." Hughes-Mason denied responsibility for all of the child's injuries, pointing the finger at others or blaming them on accidents. This little girl will never recover from the injuries she sustained from this violent attack. The doctors were clear about the extent of the injuries. They were equivalent to a high-speed crash and would have to be the result of a violent assault. We now await his sentencing, and we know he's got 14 years. Hughes-Mason played for Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur during his youth career before playing for a variety of clubs including Millwall, #United, Leatherhead, Welling and Grays and Barking. He was in the Millwall Academy from 2007 to 2009 and made 2 first-team appearances before leaving in 2011. He later joined Welling United in 2012 and made 54 appearances before leaving in 2014. Hughes-Mason began his managerial career at Tower Hamlets last year before taking the reins at Enfield Borough. He was dismissed from his job following his conviction. An NSPCC spokesperson said, "Hughes-Mason launched a brutal and cowardly attack on a defensive toddler he had been entrusted to look after. Tragically, the 2-year-old girl subjected to this violent assault will never recover from her injuries, a young life devastated before it barely got started. It is difficult to understand what will drive a man to inflict so much harm on someone so vulnerable. It is now vital that a detailed review into this shocking case gives thorough insight into whether anything could have been done to stop Hughes-Mason and to try and provide better protection for children in the future." And anyone with concerns about a child's well-being can contact the NSPCC helpline on 0808 800 5000 or email help@nspcc.org.uk. So there you go. If a child is in immediate danger, please call 999. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.